So last week we dove deep into the render network. This week we're diving into the Ethereum ecosystem to see if there's still life-changing gains ahead for this asset. The market cap is already huge in the hundreds of billions. People have made life-changing returns on Ethereum already, but what's ahead for the Ethereum network? Well, for context, this is the founder of Chainlink, a deeply connected project who's working with Swift, the US government, and some of the biggest organizations on the planet. This is what he is saying is going to be the future of the Ethereum network.
So I think we're kind of going to a world where all the biggest banks, all the biggest asset managers will end up having their own chains, their own L2s, and all those chains will then need data and they'll need connectivity, and they'll need that, and they'll want that connectivity to public Ethereum in order to transact. And so I think
maybe just out of curiosity, is that a prediction or are you already seeing demand for this thing and it's just a matter of time?
No, that's a definite thing. So it's a definite thing that all the banks, all the asset managers, all the enterprises will end up spinning up their own L2s. Then they'll end up connecting those L2s between each other. Then they'll end up connecting them to public chains. And this is hugely beneficial to the larger crypto community, because the more value that gets on chain, the more value eventually flows into public Ethereum.
So all the banks, all of the asset managers, we're talking multi-billion-dollar institutions, we're talking trillions and trillions of dollars of value. That is what the founder of Chainlink is saying. Now, is he correct? Well, to start, we have the DTCC organization, which literally is processing quadrillions of dollars of data every single year. 1 quadrillion is 1,000 trillion, right? A massive amount of money. In 2022, they did $2.5 quadrillion of value. What they do is they literally clear the value of every single security transaction on the planet. They're a clearinghouse, right? That's why that's so much money. Well, this is their vision. They're going to have the DTCC connect to funds, which is going to connect to Chainlink, which is going to connect to DTCC's Ethereum network. So that's just one example of a massive powerhouse institution using Ethereum. Here's another example. Fidelity International tokenizes money market fund on JP Morgan's blockchain. What is JP Morgan's blockchain? Well, this fund was tokenized using JP Morgan's Ethereum-based private blockchain network, Onyx Digital Assets. So whenever one of these enormous organizations use any sort of asset tokenization functionality, and we're talking trillions of dollars, if not quadrillions of dollars data, whenever they do anything, the Ethereum network is going to get paid, right? Imagine owning a piece of the entire internet and getting paid whenever anyone uses it. That's the revolutionary nature of this valuable technology. And the founder of Chainlink is saying every bank, every asset manager, what he is saying is this is that Ethereum smart contracts are going to be the new standard for financial asset tokenization. So it's the standard for the financial system. It is the new internet, right? It doesn't get bigger than that. Now, this is where we are currently. This is the Ethereum layer 1 and layer 2 monthly active users surpassing 25 million. So the future of the Ethereum network is layer 2s. It's becoming an interoperable ecosystem where the Ethereum base layer is a settlement layer for the world's value, but on top of it, the L2s, that's where the real transactions are going to go. And so in pink, we see Ethereum, and in yellow, we see the biggest layer 2 chains that we know of, right? We have Arbitrum, Base, OP, Starknet hitting 25 million. So that's just a sign of where this space is headed. Massive growth on top of Ethereum. Obviously, Coinbase is building on Ethereum. This also shows Arbitrum overtaking Ethereum in monthly active users. So a lot of the movement is taking place off-chain. Now, that's because Ethereum can't scale, right? It can't handle all this world global activity. So it's moving all that value off chain. Now, obviously, in the long term, that's supposed to be obviously very good for Ethereum, right? The world's value just settling on top of Ethereum. In the short term, they did move a lot of value off chain. So here's just one example. Coinbase, an enormous organization with a huge amount of activity, obviously. This is their cost of revenue. So the revenue their base layer 2 generates, there's a cost associated with it, and that cost is paid to Ethereum for usage. So we see a huge amount. Like in March, we had $4 million paid to the Ethereum network. There was a huge amount of activity. What happened after March was that they did the Denkin upgrade, which made it way cheaper for these big layer 2 solutions to use it. So in the short term, it's not great for Ethereum at all because Ethereum is going to get paid less. But what it does is incentivize hordes of these layer 2s to move onto the Ethereum network. So they understand how massive Ethereum is going to be when every single bank, every single asset manager is processing transactions on top of it, right? So they're playing the big game, not the short-term game. Right now, I think Base is only paying them like $2,000 a month. But that's just one chain. If the founder of Ethereum is correct and the entire financial system is going to be using it, then it doesn't matter if one chain pays them 2,000 because we're talking hundreds, if not thousands of chains. Look at where we are currently. Revenues of select public companies versus Ethereum. Ethereum's already generating over $100 billion in revenue. That's how much it's being used. It's beating Etsy, it's beating Robinhood, it's beating Yelp, it's beating Reddit, it's beating Moderna. So it's one of the most valuable pieces of technology on the planet. So as a holder of this new internet, you benefit from all this usage, all this revenue. Yes, the market cap is in the hundreds of billions, but it's already generating over $100 billion in revenue. So it's a powerhouse asset, absolutely massive. Transaction count of the Ethereum ecosystem also growing. Look at Q1 20. Look at where we are in Q1 2024. So in dark green, we see Ethereum, the base layer, holding steady, but it's the massive growth on the layer 2s. That is where the action is, and that's where the action is going to be, at least at this point. And so we have Polygon just absolutely dominant on top of Ethereum in light green currently. So what is the future? Obviously, more and more demand for this asset. We have the ETF launch. So sometime in July, we're going to get a spot Ethereum ETF. I don't think the world understands how massive Ethereum is going to be. So maybe it'll take some time for them to realize this. Almost guaranteed no one understands that JP Morgan is building on top of Ethereum. BlackRock, also with the BUIDL fund. BlackRock's BUIDL becomes the largest tokenized treasury fund, hitting $375 million, toppling Franklin Templeton's. That is going to run on top of Ethereum as well. So Ethereum is essentially the new internet of the world. It's already seeing the biggest possible adoption. So it really doesn't get bigger than this. And so what makes an asset value? Obviously adoption. We're seeing massive adoption of Ethereum. We want to see good tokenomics. Will the asset get scarcer or at least not inflate that much over time, diluting the current holders? Well, Ethereum is in theory deflationary. This is the supply change over the last 1 year or so since they went proof of stake. So since they went proof of stake, the way it works, the more Ethereum is used, the more deflationary it becomes. That's how Ethereum holders get paid. The network fees get burnt, right? So Ethereum gets scarcer and scarcer. What we've seen is deflation. So since the merge, 358,000 Ethereum have been burnt. Now, as a holder of Ethereum, you're going to get paid passive income. This incentivizes people to hold Ethereum and stake Ethereum and secure the network. So that is inflation. We want to see usage of Ethereum, which will offset that inflation and in theory make it deflationary. That is what we've seen so far. And so obviously incredible tokenomics if this future internet of the world gets scarcer and scarcer over time as it's used. Now, one thing to note is you can see that we've seen an uptick in the supply of Ethereum, and that's because the Denkin upgrade, it made it way cheaper, way less fees for these organizations to build on top of Ethereum. Obviously, in the short term, not ideal because that will make Ethereum more inflationary. But in the long term, we're going to see more and more and more usage. And that's just going to cause it to, in theory, go further deflationary. So incredible tokenomics, incredible adoption. So one of the most valuable pieces of technology on the planet, period, right? So the question is, where will it go? Because currently the market cap is already massive. The bigger the market cap, the more money is required to move the price. But when we're talking about essentially a new internet, the sky is the limit. What is the current internet worth? Again, if you could own a piece of the internet, the most valuable thing on the planet at this point, and you got paid whenever it was used, how much would it be worth? It'd be worth trillions of dollars. So Ethereum could 10x over the next few years. At least in the next 10 years, Ethereum can 10x very easily. That would take it over 40, if not $50,000. So that would be my price prediction as this mass adoption takes place. And we just get to watch this story unfold of this very valuable, very scarce technology. Now, the best part about Ethereum, because yes, a 10x in a few years. Isn't that exciting when you could be buying altcoins? But the best part about Ethereum is it pays you to wait. So in bear markets and bull markets, you're going to get paid passive income from the Ethereum staking rewards. What is that worth, right? Monthly. Think of it. It's almost like owning a business. If you can just own a piece of the internet and get paid, so you can put more capital to work in something like Ethereum. And so the risk reward is just incredible on Ethereum because at this point it's incredibly low risk, but massive upside, and it pays you passive income. Yes, there are plenty of other amazing assets which we're going to cover, but this is just another incredible asset in addition to Render. Have to keep you posted about what's really going on with these assets because very few people are in the weeds this much, right? So thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to cover any other assets, just comment below.